evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. We're going to call this regular board of trustee meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. We can stand.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Mosley. Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Banner.
Here.
Trustee Roll.
Here.
Trustee Taylor.
If we can ask everyone who's on Zoom if you could mute yourself. Can I get a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of June 3rd, 2025?
So moved. I'll second that motion.
Any questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Banner.
Yes.
Trustee Roll.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Motion approved. Comments, 3 minutes. And the clerk has a timer and he will let you know when you have 1 minute left.
Thank you, everybody that's present on tonight. I would like to start by saying thank you for the information from the last meeting on June 3rd. Special thanks to Mr. James J.R. Patton for his birthday review. I'd also like to give recognition to our police force. I've seen a huge presence in some situations that have occurred, very minor, but the fact that we're seeing more police officers very pleasing to us. Thank you very much for that. My concern is public safety. Excuse me. Would you state your name? Marquita Barnes, I'm sorry. My name is Marquita Barnes. My concern is public safety, and it relates to the visible crosswalks in Austin. Looking to see if we could have visible crosswalks at 187th and Austin, Sharif, 183rd, and Bridge. I don't know if we would have to communicate to Homewood to make that happen. And looking it up, I know we have to talk to our state legislators or whatever. We're not looking to break up any concrete or anything like that. We just need visible crosswalks, which look like the painting that they would do, and maybe the numbers on the crosswalk lights that indicate do walk and don't walk. And I look at, we have a lot of seniors that are not able to just walk across the Walgreens to get their prescriptions so they can go to culverts. We don't have sidewalks. We have handicapped people that are in wheelchairs. So just looking at that, if we want to keep money in Glenwood, if I have to get a police bus to go, I'm not going to get a police bus to go to Walgreens up to go somewhere else. If I have to drive just across the street, I may say, well, oh, you know what, since I'm driving, I'm just going to go over here. So that's taking a lot of dollars out of Glenwood, but that's just my concern regarding safety as it relates to us getting back and forth across the street and the sidewalks, because we do have bus stops along there. They have their concrete, but getting to them is a problem. It can be a problem for somebody that's handicapped. Also, just wanted to talk about the home rentals in our area. I don't know what's happening with that, or who's responsible for the upkeep of the grass. I don't know if we have ordinances in places, but when people rent our property, I think the homeowners should be required to upkeep the grass, as far as treating the grass so we don't have weeds and everything like that, and make sure that it is presentable for what we're trying to do now in Glenwood as far as beautification. So I'm not sure if we see anything or have anything regarding what the renters are. if we could get some of that information, that would be great. I'm not expecting to get it right now, but those are just some of the concerns that I have. And regarding that safety issue, if you all go through Homewood, I know most of us put on our work speed. So I would like to see that happen in our Glenwood area, once we get the visible sidewalks and things, the walkways, so that people are conscious about people crossing Halsted to get to all of the things that we put on Halsted versus going someplace else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Janet Edna, 257 Pleasant Drive. With the recent news about the water, the drinking water in University Park, I was wondering if it's possible to get an update on the SWA situation that the board approved, was it 6 years ago, Trustee Edna? 2020, okay. Need to know the number. Okay, in 2020, the SWA, what's going on with that? I think 60,000 that we paid up front. 62,000. It's very exact. 62,000 that we paid up front. So that was 5 years ago. So with our aging water system, just want an update on what's happening with the SWA and a possible cleaner water coming to Glenwood.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Birmingham. At the last meeting, looking at the last meeting and listening in on it, I was very disappointed to hear that the plans for our Pullman Park will not go forth as Mayor Gardner had presented to the community, stating that people can have input into the park, that going there, only to not find out that we're over budgeted. During one of Mayor Gardner's last meetings, the board approved approximately $300,000 that were over budgeted for one of the projects that the engineering company was doing. So I'm hoping that we get, the residents get some type of written explanation as to why we will not have what we were supposed to have. Well, let me take that back. What Mayor Gardner said we would have, because they were touting the program, the park, and what it would look like, but we get residents' input, only to find out that we do not have what we are supposed to have, and knowing that we're so over budgeted. So Mayor Hart, I'm hoping that an explanation, a written explanation is provided to the board and to the residents in terms of what it is we will not have due to the unforeseen cost or the dramatic over-budgeted program that didn't move forward. Thank you. And one last thing, I do want to thank Mr. Patton, for giving his report. And Mayor Hart, I thank you for your first coffee and chat to sit down and listen to residents and hear what needs to be said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members, and as well as Mayor, citizens of Village of Glenwood, Mayor Slaughter. And this is going to be more so my PSA for everyone. Last board meeting, there were several conversations regarding rodents, cats, dogs, all these critters. Lo and behold, I have a cage in my backyard with no food in it, by the way. And a couple of days thereafter, there was a critter in the little cage. I didn't want to touch the critter because it was a skunk. So I visited our wonderful police station and talked with the chief, and they gave me information in regards to the county, because we don't have the old-fashioned dog catcher, right? Several phone calls, and then a phone call back from one of their supervisors She made the notion to make sure that the entire village was aware that the county does not, unless it's Rat Dog or something, does not capture, reclaim dogs, cats, or anything else. That is the village responsibility, and that there should be, if there's not, there should be a budget for that. We had one, and it is up to the village to rehire someone. And again, overstating, she said that the county will not come out and pick up dogs, cats, or things of this nature. So I wanted to make everyone aware. And I said, so that everybody knows, I said, well, what do I do with this varmint in my cage? She said, you have to release it. And I want to be very clear. So she says that I have to release it. And I said, okay, well, I'll think about that. I said, I'm not going there, but I'll just take it back to the forest preserve. Wink, wink, nod, nod. She said it was against the law for me to release an animal back into the forest preserve. I didn't know that, so, you know, I'm letting everybody know. And I said, so what the heck am I supposed to do with this skunk? It's up to you. But don't release it into the forest preserve. You have to release it in your own yard and let it go back to where it went. So I just wanted everybody to know if they go out and go to Home Depot and get a cage and they catch some varmint, we know what you can't do to the varmint, and you're supposed to release it, but I'm just letting everybody know I'm not going in a cage to get a skunk. So.
Thank you. With no other comments, bills payable and outside.
Good evening, everybody. The name is Murdoch, 1102 West Wisconsin. I wanted to piggyback off the young lady who spoke about the residents and the realtors or either the homeowners as far as their grass is concerned or the other portion of the property being upkept. We know that we want our properties to look good for those that are homeowners as well as residents that are renting. However, I don't know if there's an ordinance that you can create or has not been created already to hold the owners, be it realtors or the homeowners, responsibility of putting down a deposit to make certain that their grass and their properties are upkept properly. If the resident doesn't do it, then of course charge the homeowner that owns a home or the realtor when they come out of their deposit to keep it up. Now, how they deal with their renter pertaining to that would be strictly up to them. But I think that that would be a great idea because I thought about that. That number one, this way, this should allow us to keep all of the property up as it should be, and that they be responsible by putting down the deposit to secure that it stay that way. Thank you.
Thank you. With no other public comments, bills payable and payroll. Jensen.
Bills payable for June 13, 2025, corporate $217,950.48. Motor fuel tax $11,727.05. Sewer and water $147,059.34. TIF Industrial Park $168.47. TIF Main Street $656.25. TIF Holbrook Road $1,790 even. Glenwood Golf Course $50,602.51. TIF Halsted North $110,122.10. TIF Halsted South $20,693.25 with a total of all funds of $560,569.45.
Can I have a motion to approve bills payable for June 13, 2025? Total of funds of $506,560.45.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
I have a question.
I'm sorry.
On page 1 of the vendor list, it has the same phone number under AT&T and the same amount, or not the same amount, but close to the same amount. Do you know what that is? It has the same phone number, I'm sorry. So it has the same phone number, and then the phone number has $1,224.52, and that same phone number has $1,124.79. But it's the same phone number.
So it's just listing the same number because that's the one that's on that list. I'd have to pull the invoice, I don't have it in front of me. But the two invoices that we did owe.
I would look into that to see if we're being overcharged for this, for $2,200 for the same phone number. So that was my question. And I have another question. On page 9, we have 5 $25 payments for T-Mobile. I don't think I've seen T-Mobile on our list before, but it's just 25, 25, 25, 25, and 25.
So that one relates back to last year in April where we made a payment $125 for the expenses. And when I say last year, April, meaning 2024, the payment went out, it went to the bank. It was never approved when the check was presented on our half. So the $125 got reversed at the bank. So this is actually paying them that money back from that bill back in last April.
What are we paying them for? $25.
Police chief said it was for expediting responses for subpoenas.
Okay.
I have one question more, actually, too. The Donahue Road last check, I'm assuming it's the last check.
No,
Have they turned over all documents, all information to the board or to the village?
that's not the final check for that particular invoice. All of the information has been received.
Okay, great. And as far as the firehouse, so we got the information from Brian Matthew. Is it possible to get a spreadsheet as to where all the funds came from for the firehouse, whether it was general fund, tip money, grants, so on and so forth? Is that
All the funds for the fire station 2 came from the contiguous TIFs, other than $325,000 that was earmarked as a grant.
but no general fund money?
No general fund money came to pay for anything.
And no foreign fire tax money was used?
He did use some foreign fire money. I'd have to try to figure out what those components were. They were more of the ancillary things. I'm thinking like a TV for the firemen and stuff, but they never came to us. They were generated and paid straight from that.
Okey-doke. Thank you.
And the last thing about fire, so all of these totals here, the 92,000, you said to us that was already budgeted in? Or are these extra costs?
Well, they were budgeted because the board approved up to that 2.1 million. Bear with me 1 second. The final approval of all the different times came up to 2.165, 163, and 48 cents.
And these amounts are in that total? That's what I'm asking.
No, these three it goes out today, again, for the budget, yes. It hasn't been put into the Fire Station 2 total expenditures, though it gets approved tonight.
I think your question, Trustee Brown, is that total 2.1 million that was that part of the budget.
Right.
Yes, that the initial board approved budget was $1.4 million. The board then subsequently came back and approved for the fire chief to go over that budget. So that includes up to that $21 million. So the answer to your question is that yes,
That's in here.
that is a part of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Aye.
Trustee Rowe,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Payroll,
So the payroll for the check dated June 13th of 2025, administrative payroll $17,188.79. Public Works $10,903.81. Police Department $110,347.29. Fire Department $19,729.45. Senior Center $259.50. Elected positions, $1,071.31. Sewer and water, $20,249.93. And Glenwood Golf Course, $42,711.04. For a total payroll of $222,461.12.
can I get a motion for payroll for check date June 13, 2025? Total payroll of $222,461.12.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any questions?
I have two questions. One question is on a separate payroll summary, it still has the economic development stipend of $461.54. Before, Chief Welch was getting that, who now gets the economic development stipend?
As we're doing the transition, that Chief Welch continue to get that economic stipend due to the redevelopment agreements that were approved from January to March, so that we can have that history.
Okay, and my last question is, typically on the front page, we would have overtime listed as well, and now overtime is listed on a separate page. So when I added up everything on a payroll check for June 13th, I did get to $22,461.12. However, now we have a whole other list of overtime, and I'm wondering why overtime isn't listed and reimbursable money isn't listed on the first page instead of us at this page and that page. Why was it pulled out?
I'm not sure that I understand your question.
My question is, on the first page, overtime is listed here under payroll for check date, whatever it is, and overtime is how it's listed. Now it's not. It's on a separate page.
Typically, what happens when you had listed on the first page the overtime, that was related to overtime that would be reimbursed. So you were listing out overtime that was reimbursed specifically to the police department.
Yeah, well, reimbursable was always on here, but I'm saying there's overtime for administration, there's overtime for fire, there's overtime for public works, it's overtime for sewer and water, it's overtime for police, and then there's a line of reimbursable. So all of this used to be on the front page. And it's confusing to me because I had to add this up and then go over here to see if this is a different amount to add to this.
Was there a different amount?
Yes, ma'am. I have $9,547.21 in overtime. I did not count the $1,225.47 reimbursable. That's on this page.
on this page, there is $22,461.12. This does add up to this adds up separately.
Trustee Brown, the overtime that's on the separate page, it is included in the total salaries. Your total payroll is $222,461.12. Typically, when the overtime is on there, it doesn't list out per every department. If you look at previous board members, the overtime that was shown on the front page was related to police overtime.
And fine.
That the previous board wanted to know how much reimbursement we would get from the police during overtime. So what we have done was ask that we can have a separate contract with the providers that they're providing overtime, so that we're not paying the overtime up front. Any other questions?
Not yet.
Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Rowe. Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Hannah.
Yes.
Communication from the mayor's office, just a reminder, the second and the fourth Saturday of the month until December, the village hall is open from 9 to 12. Also, reminding everyone that, and I hope to see everyone Thursday, June 19th from 3 to 7:30 here behind the village hall for the Village of Glenwood Juneteenth celebration. Also want to point out that staff and the board has been busy since the last board meeting ensuring the transition for community engagement efforts, financial reviews. Jensen and I did receive an initial draft of the 2022 audit. We'll meet on tomorrow to review it, and then if there's any questions, present them to Sarah, and we hope to have a final draft to the board for the July 1st board meeting. And DA Patton, he will share for you key updates since the last board meeting with you. I would like a motion to approve to enter into closed session pursuant to section 2C11 of the Illinois Open Meeting Act regarding pending and threatened litigation with a reason to convene. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Rowe.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Hannah.
Yes.
We're going to take a brief 10-minute break to go into closed session.